I almost shattered a billionaire's windshield with a rock, with my 3 kids screaming "Mommy" from the back seat, and a stranger in a suit telling me to calm down like I wasn't on fire inside. Tell me, if you saw your children in a stranger's car, would you think first, or would you move first? Because I moved. And here's the part nobody warns you about. The man I tried to stop wasn't a kidnapper. He was my new boss, and he was about to turn my past, my pride, my whole life inside out. My name is Perry. I cook for a living. Long hours, hot oil, loud tickets, the kind of kitchen where you learn to read people by the way they grip a pan. I'm also a single mom to triplets. Amanda, loud laugh and sharper instincts than she lets on, Riley, tiny protector, who thinks he's 6 feet tall, and Peter, my quiet one, the kid who watches a room like he's learning a language only he can hear. Those 3 are my why. Why I keep going. Why I say yes to shifts nobody wants. Why I fold dollar bills until they're soft, like cloth, and stretch them into next week. You know what I mean, right? That stubborn little engine in your chest that says keep going even when the meter says empty. It was their 4th birthday, the kitchen buzzing, steam glowing in the light, like something holy, and my manager leaned in and said, "Perry, that's enough, go be mom. Your kids are waiting." I wanted to finish the plate, because that's me, finish the plate, finish the shift, finish the thought. But he waved me off. I changed fast, grabbed 3 paper bags with thrifted toys and a pack of crayons and walked out expecting squeals and frosting on cheeks. Instead, I saw my sister Gina twisting her fingers, eyes wet. "Where are the kids?" I asked. Not soft, not nice. She said bathroom, 2 minutes, told them to stay put. Came back, and they were gone. My heart didn't drop, it snapped. Like a rubber band you knew was old but hoped would hold. We ran, we yelled, we split like 2 pieces of the same panic. I begged my manager for the security feed, and there on the screen, my 3 babies talking to a man by a sleek car, the door swinging open like a trap, small bodies climbing in one by one like it was nothing, like it was a game. I didn't plan, I launched. Through the hall, out the door, into the heat lungs, burning prayer stuck in my throat. The engine coughed to life, and I threw myself in front of the bumper like I was 10 feet tall and made of something stronger than fear. "Stop!" I shouted, and my voice didn't sound like my voice. It sounded like a mother bear in human skin. The man got out. Handsome, clean lines, the kind of suit that needs its own savings account. And he raised his hands like I was the dangerous one. "They asked me to buy ice cream," he said, calm like we were in a grocery line. "Do you think that's fair? That a stranger can open his car door and let your kids in because ice cream is universal, because adults in nice clothes must be safe?" I grabbed a fist-sized rock, felt its weight like a promise, and told him if I saw his face again, I'd mark it so the next woman wouldn't fall for it. I yanked the car door, and there they were. My kids, big-eyed, my name falling out of their mouths like confetti. And I said, "Out now, now" means now, no arguments. They slid out, cheeks pink with embarrassment, and we walked away while onlookers stared like a movie had broken out beside their cars. That night, we tried to celebrate cupcake candles, leaning like tired soldiers, crayon drawings taped to a wall that needed repainting years ago. Gina talked about moving in with Roman, her fiancé, and I smiled like I wasn't terrified of losing the only sitter I trusted. "Go," I said. "Don't stand still on my account." And then I tucked 3 warm bodies into bed and lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to their sleep, thanking God, and also arguing with him, because I can do both in the same breath. Morning came with the smell of onions and a rumor. The owners were out of town, their son had flown in, American-raised, taking over for a while. The room tightened when he walked in, that quiet pressure expensive people carry, like a weather system. And then my stomach turned to ice. It was him. Parking lot him. Ice cream him. "Meet Mr. Dave Carter," the manager said. All professionals smile, and everyone clapped the way people clap when they're not sure what's safe to feel. Dave's eyes found mine held, and for a second, I felt like a kid caught talking in church. He called me to the office. Small room, glass door, the kind of space where bad news lives, and asked if I was still convinced he was a criminal. I said I was sorry. I said I panicked. I said if he needed to fire me, I get it. I'll pack my knives. I'll be gone by lunch. He stared, jaw working like he was chewing on a decision, then said, "Forget it, the way some people shake rain off a coat." "Grab your jacket," he added. "You're coming with me to a client meeting. Big birthday, big money, big pressure." I suggested the head chef. He said the head chef suggested me, that I was steady, and that was that. I climbed into the same car I'd pried open yesterday, sat very straight, like posture could make me less human, and tried to keep my hands from shaking. We pulled into the parking lot of a public elementary school, my kids' school of all places, and something opened in my chest, a stupid little swell of happy, because I could smell pencil shavings and cafeteria pizza through the breeze. We met Mrs. Chu in the principal's office, a woman with warm eyes and a serious pen, and Dave talked like he was born at a boardroom table, which maybe he was. I added notes when she asked about menu plating temperature control for outdoor service. I didn't stutter, not once. When we wrapped, he said, "You look like someone drained your battery," and I let out a laugh I hadn't planned to give him. "Mommy." That sound, their feet pattering down the hall, my three, with Gina and Roman behind them, and in 2 seconds I was covered in small arms. They looked at Dave and gasped. Uncle Handsome, because kids don't care about resumes, just vibes and smiles. He smiled back, crouched to their level, took his teasing like a champ, and offered ice cream like the villain from yesterday had turned into a Disney character. I said no on reflex, then those 3 pairs of eyes did that thing. The tilt, the shine, the plea, and I caved. We all got in the car, I took the front seat, and the drive turned into a Q+ Chardonnay. "Are you married?" Amanda asked blunt. "No," he said, "single." "Mommy's single too. Will you marry her?" she said, and I wanted to vanish into the air vents. He laughed, then he answered like it mattered. "Love is who you want to see at the end of a bad day, who makes the small things feel big." He didn't look at me when he said it, not exactly, but I still looked out the window because my face was warm. He kept his promise. Ice cream home drop-off returned to the restaurant like nothing happened. Days slid into a rhythm. Dave was strict on the floor, easy in the hallway. He didn't flirt, not exactly, but he didn't hide either. Then one afternoon he asked if I could help his little sister bake Valentine's cookies at the family estate. Not a work thing, just a favor. I almost said no because I hate the taste of charity, but he asked like I was the only person he trusted to make it right. Their kitchen was... Listen, it was stupid, beautiful. 2 islands, copper pots that looked like jewelry light from windows so clean it felt like water. Diana, his sister, eyed me with that look little sisters have, measuring mischievous, asked if I was his girlfriend. "No," I said, laughing, "just a chef who knows her way around a broken dough." We ruined 2 batches and celebrated the 3rd like a championship. At one point, Dave reached over my shoulder for a bin on a high shelf, and I spun without thinking, and suddenly we were close enough to count the flecks in his eyes. "Sorry," he said, stepping back, and Diana sing-songed from the other side of the island. "I smell something sweet. And it's not the cookies." Yeah, that happened. We took a Polaroid in the garden light, soft hair, messy me with flour on my sleeve, Dave standing a little too close like gravity had a preference. Coffee then on a bench that made you sit straighter because it belonged to people with foundations and endowments. He asked if I planned to date. I told the truth like I tell the temperature of a steak. Direct, no chaser. I said men don't line up for single moms with 3 kids and a past you can't wash off with hot water. He said people care about who you are now, not what you had to do when the world cornered you. He said it like a man who believed it. Then he told me, simple, quiet. He liked me. He wanted to court me if I'd let him. I dropped my cookie for real, and I said yes. Pattern interrupt. Wait. This is where I say stick around, because what happened next will blow your mind. His parents rolled into the picture the way parents do when they love their son and don't trust the world. Mr. and Mrs. Carter, posture like the stock market voices, like they're used to microphones working the first time, pulled up outside my kids' school one afternoon and invited themselves to dinner at my place, polite but firm. I wanted to shrink. I cook the thing I cook when I love someone. Chicken noodle soup, heavy herbs noodles that go wide and soak up comfort steam that smells like home. We ate at my wobbly table. They talked to the kids. Mrs. Carter looked at Peter and said, he looked exactly like Dave at 8 years old, and we laughed like it was nothing. They left and I breathed again the kind of breath that tastes like hope. For a second, I believed life might actually give me this one. Then came Sunday dinner at the Carters' estate. Long table, polished wood, the anxiety that grows legs and sits beside you. Mrs. Carter slid a folder toward me, papers tidy, voice steady. She said she trusted me, and because she trusted me, she had to ask, did I work at a club once? Is that where I got pregnant? Is that why I won't say anything about the children's father? The fork fell out of my hand and made that small, humiliating clatter, and I felt heat run up my neck to my ears. I could have lied. I could have broken myself into a prettier shape. I didn't. I said yes, and I said, I was sorry I hadn't told them sooner, and I said I would resign first thing in the morning, that I wouldn't put their son in the position of choosing between me and his family, that I would remove myself, because if there's one thing I promised myself, it's that my kids will never watch me beg to be kept. I stood, grabbed my bag, and left before my legs remembered they were shaking. In the taxi, I cried like a child, those small, ugly sounds that feel too honest for adult throats. Gina wrapped me on the couch and said it was her fault for getting sick. Back then I said it was my choice, and we threw the blame back and forth like a hot potato until we both just breathed. I crawled into bed with the kids, tucked myself between them like armor, and told the ceiling we were going to be fine, even though I didn't believe it yet. Morning came with an ordinary sound, a vacuum running downstairs. So normal I thought I was dreaming. I walked down, hair wild, old t-shirt, and there he was, Dave, turning off the vacuum like a kid caught sneaking cookies. He looked at me, then at the kids peeking from the stairs, and he started crying. Not the pretty kind people do in movies, the kind you try to swallow, but it shakes your shoulders anyway. I crossed the room in 2 steps, because that's what you do when someone you love looks broken, and I asked if he burned himself cooking, because that's how my brain is wired. Immediate problems, first, heartbreak, second. He shook his head and said the thing that flipped the whole story. He said the night I worked at that club, he was there drunk and stupid, pushed by a cousin who thought trouble was a hobby, and a woman came into his room and the world went blurry and he woke up alone. He said his sister talked to me last night, and he started connecting dots, and then he checked what he needed to check, and everything lined up. He said it simple, like a prayer and an apology at the same time. He was the father. My legs didn't buckle because my body decided to be kind for once, but the room tilted. "You're our real daddy?" Amanda asked, voice tiny. He nodded, eyes wet, and all four of them crashed into each other like magnets finally found their match. That sound, that messy laugh cry, that weight of hugs. Don't let anyone tell you miracles only happen in quiet churches. Sometimes they happen in cluttered living rooms with backpacks by the door. We dropped the kids at school because life keeps moving, even when your heart just rewrote itself then. He took me to a small cafe on a hill, with a view that makes you forget your last name. He held my hand, said his parents didn't know yet, said he didn't care what anyone said. He wasn't leaving, he was done with running in circles around the truth. Then he pulled a ring from his pocket, knelt right there on the terrace like the whole world had gone still for us, and told me that watching me walk away last night felt like something inside him broke and refused to heal without me. He said he loved me, he wanted the life, not the headline. I said yes, I said it twice because the first one came out as a breath, and he slid the ring on my finger with hands that were not steady at all. We drove to his parents' place, my heart climbing into my throat at every red light. And before I could rehearse what to say, Mrs. Carter crossed the gravel and wrapped me tight, scolding and crying, and asking why I ran. "Family doesn't keep secrets, if we can help it," she said, "and if we're doing this, we do it together." Then she spotted the ring, smacked her son on the arm for not hiring a photographer, and I laughed a sound I hadn't heard from myself in years, the one that belongs to safety. We told them the truth, and she threw her hands up like a referee calling a goal. I knew it. I knew those kids had your face, and Mr. Carter smiled, this quiet, relieved smile that said 100 things without a single word. After that, it was rooms and boxes and new routines. Mrs. Carter pressing snacks into small hands. Mr. Carter teaching Riley a half Windsor he didn't need yet. Diana claiming auntie rights like a crown. A month later, we stood at the front of a church stained glass, throwing colors across our faces. And when I looked down the aisle at my three, I swear I saw my 19-year-old self in the last pew whispering, "See, we made it, even if it wasn't pretty." We took a small trip. We could have taken bigger but didn't, because peace felt better than luxury. Came home, found a place that was ours. Because married or not, I wanted walls. We could scuff with our own stories. And we built a life that looks boring on paper and feels like a miracle in motion. Years moved. They do that when you're busy living instead of counting. And one evening, I'm setting the table asking Dave for the third time if the kids are running late, and he's teasing that I've got more gray than him, and the radio plays an old song we used to slow dance to in a kitchen crowded with homework and soup steam. He put out his hand like we were 20. I rolled my eyes and gave in, and we swayed, slow fingers laced. The door banged open, and there they were. Amanda with her spouse Riley, with that protector look that never retired Peter with his quiet grin. And behind them a flock of grandkids with loud shoes and louder ideas. We interrupting something Amanda said, and I said, "Yes, manners, but come eat." We ended up doing a ridiculous family sway right there by the chairs, bumping hips, laughing like the room had more air than walls. Now I need to ask you something that might sting. Should I have told Dave sooner, told his parents sooner, told the world sooner? Is that honesty? Or is that ripping open a wound before you've got clean hands? Should his parents have investigated me? Is that protection? Or is that control dressed in good intentions? Is a woman like me, poor cornered, making one terrible choice to keep the lights on, allowed to build a life with a man like him without a trial in the court of public opinion? Do you think that's fair? If it were you, what would you have done? Here's what I know. People love neat labels, and our story doesn't fit. I'm not a saint, not a villain. I'm a mother who almost broke a windshield because ice cream should never come with a car door. A cook who turns hunger into something warm. A woman who said yes on a terrace because love finally asked the right way. And he's not a savior, not a stereotype. He's the father who cried in my living room, the man who knelt without caring who was watching, the son who told his parents the truth and stood still while the dust settled. Yeah, that happened. And if you made it this far, I want you to tell me, where did you take his side? Where did you take mine? Where did you shake your head and say no? That's not how it should go. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be honest. Be human, argue with me if you need to. Stick around, because the next story might be yours, and the turn you're dreading might be the turn that saves you. Hit like if this hit you, subscribe if you want more true heart, messy life stories, and tell me the moment when your truth changed everything. I'm reading, I'm listening, and I'm right here with you.